Hello, and welcome to Sabbath School Flashcards. The title for today's lesson is Christ's Message to Sardis. And the date is January 15, 2019. Christ's Message to Sardis. Sardis had a glorious history. But by the Roman period, the city had lost its prestige. While the city was still enjoying wealth, its glory was rooted in its past history rather than in present reality. The ancient city had been built on top of a steep hill and was nearly impregnable. Because the citizens felt so secure, the city walls were guarded carelessly. We will read Revelation 3:1-6 along with Matthew 24:42-44 and 1 Thessalonians 5:1-8. In order to figure out what three things Jesus urges the Christians in Sardis to do as a cure for their spiritual condition. And how did his warning to watch correspond to the city's history? Reading Revelation 3:1-6. And to the angel of the church in Sardis write. These things says he who has the seven spirits of God and the seven stars. I know your works, that you have a name, that you are alive, but you are dead. Be watchful, and strengthen the things which remain, that are ready to die, for I have not found your works perfect before God. Remember therefore how you have received and heard, hold fast and repent. Therefore if you will not watch, I will come upon you as a thief, and you will not know what hour I will come upon you. You have a few names even in Sardis who have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. He who overcomes shall be clothed in white garments, and I will not blot out his name from the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Now let us read Matthew 5:44-48. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven, for he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what a reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. And finally, reading 1 Thessalonians 5:1-8. But concerning the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I should write to you. For you, yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night. For when they say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman. And they shall not escape. But you, brethren, are not in darkness, so that this day should overtake you as a thief. You are all sons of light and sons of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep, as others do, but let us watch and be sober. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk are drunk at night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and as a helmet the hope of salvation. After reading these texts, we know that Jesus wanted the Christians in Sardis to hold fast to the things they have seen and heard. In other words, to all that they have been taught. And he wanted them to repent and not to feel secure in their position, but be watchful so that they see Satan attacks, even the very subtle ones, and resist and overcome. While Jesus recognizes a few Christians in Sardis as faithful, most of them are spiritually dead. The church is not charged with any open sin or apostasy, as are those in Pergamum and Thyatira, but with spiritual lethargy. The message to the church in Sardis applies prophetically to the spiritual situation of the Protestants in the post-Reformation period, from approximately 1565 to 1740. As the church degenerated into lifeless formalism and a state of spiritual complacency. Under the impact of the rising tide of rationalism and secularism, the church's focus on the saving grace of the gospel and commitment to Christ waned, giving place to creedal and dry philosophical arguments. The church of this period, although appearing to be alive, was spiritually dead. Jesus' message to Sardis also applies to every generation of Christians. There are Christians who always talk in glorious terms of their past faithfulness to Christ. Unfortunately, these same Christians do not have much to share about their present experience with Christ. Their religion is nominal, lacking the true religion of the heart and genuine commitment to the gospel. Keeping ever before us the great truth of salvation by faith in Christ alone, in what ways could we say that our works have not been found perfect before God? What does that mean, and how can we perfect our works before Him? See Matthew 5:44-48. As we read these verses we will quickly realize that our work will never be found perfect, unless we learn to love as Jesus did. Stay blessed. This is Wittens Glenn. Have a safe and spirit-filled day.